Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid-May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Virgos in early to mid-May? It is Taurus season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo early to mid-May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick and get underway. The Alchemist. And this is an oracle card that I link very, very strongly to the Virgo collective because I always say this one reminds me of the Hermit quite a bit. Now, this is a pretty interesting layered type of energy. A lot of these cards are, but this one in specific, because even though it just looks like a dude looking at a potion, there's a lot of layers to it. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So we have the Alchemist, and alchemy is usually about transmutation of energy. When I look at the symbolism of it, but we see him there. He's kind of secluded, very hermit-like. So again, that is the power card for Virgo. Nice, solitary, inner peace, lots of wisdom when I see this card. What's he doing? He's focusing on his creation. He has that little alchemical symbol of the sun right there on the third eye, which represents illumination, like breakthroughs, aha moments. So there's a lot of great stuff that comes along with this card. Now, again, there could be a very specific situation because this is about focus. And I've been picking this up in other signs too, especially earth signs, that there might be one specific situation that has a lion's share of your focus. Or this could be spirit saying like, hey, something needs a little more attention. Not sure what that could be. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But I like this. It's creating, it's manifesting, it's transmuting energy from difficult into easy. So I really like this for you. Now's a lot of times where now's a time where you could turn that frown upside down or turn negative into a positive when this card is here. So beautiful for focused intention, beautiful for manifestation. But there's also this like spiritual vibe. The only downside with hermit energy is solitude, communication issues, or potentially saying like, I just want to be in my little cave here. But we're just going to let him chill out right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here. What do we got for the lovely Virgo collective? And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled Sudden Action Incoming. So whether it was coming from your side or another side, it's just like boom, popped up out of nowhere. It was very fiery. Now, action could come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, right? Whether it's something that you've been wanting to do, something you've been wanting to address, or someone else where it's like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. So just know in the coming days and weeks, there could just be a lot of random stuff or random things, random actions popping up. Watch out for doing things before thinking them through. I think that was the warning. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards for my beautiful Virgo friends. What's happening in... Oh, okay. Yeah, before I even got the words out, the first card popped out. In early to mid-May, we got the 9 of Pentacles. This is a beautiful energy for Earth sign placements. Nice, stable. Let's get a couple more. Okay, 6 of Cups. Okay, might be taking a lot of trips down memory lane. A lot of reminiscing that comes up with the 6 of Cups. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get another. What do we got here for Virgo? Okay, cool. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords here on the back end. I like the overall energetic outlook. I will say that, but I'm going to stay neutral for the time being because there's this energy here. They're kind of tied together for some reason. Now, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. And I feel like it frames the reading well. And we have a nice mixture this week, and a lot of it is energy that can work very well with Virgo. We have earth, water, and air, totally different things. So whether these are different situations or different aspects of something, all of it could be in play. When it comes to earth, that's your power zone, that's your comfort zone, that's your comfort level. That's great. It's like a power place for people with earth sign placements. Earth can represent stability and security, whether it's internal or external. So there could be a lot of situations that affect your feelings of stability. I like it because generally it's predictable. It could represent a big focus on day to day life and routine. Earth energy could be money, work, business, finance. It could be home and family. So all the earthy stuff, the earth that we live in, is represented here. The downside with earth is that sometimes it could move a little too slow, be a little too set in place. Sometimes it's a little too predictable. So we'll keep an eye on it. Moving to the middle, we have water. This combination, the earth and water, to me represents blessings and abundance. But when we see water, that's matters of the heart, matters of emotion, things or people that we're emotionally invested in. Cups can also represent our partnerships, any type. I love it because it's imaginative, it's creative, it's dreamy. The cups do tie more into the spiritual aspect as well. But the downside to cups is water element can be very overwhelming. It could pull us under sometimes. So if you're dealing with a lot of heavy things, heavy emotions, just keep an eye on that. Tides ebb and flow, right? Such is life. Moving here to the back end, we have the air, totally different than the water. Air is a little more logical and pragmatic. So we have matters of the heart and mind, heart and mind. So you might be seeing something from two different angles. Now, the great thing about swords, it's information based. So whether I'm trying to gather information, whether I'm trying to give information, planning, strategy, it's things that make logical sense. It's the mindset, it's the perspective and communication. But the downside to air element is sometimes it could be a little too much in its head. It's a little too overthinky sometimes. And it could also represent being cold and detached. So you see what I mean? We have a big mixture going on. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start here with the Nine of Pentacles. Love it. Now, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck. And we see this lovely lady. She's standing in her yard. She has her pet bird, and she looks happy and content. So normally when I see the Nine of Pentacles, I think, yeah, solid, stable, secure, blessings, abundance. This is one of my cards of wins and victories. Really nice. It could represent an independent streak as well. So like for some Virgos, you might be in a I'll just do it myself type of mindset, or I'll do this solo, or I can handle this. Again, it's very entrepreneurial. It's very solo in its own type of way, which again doesn't have to be a bad thing. I mean, Virgos are very motivated individuals to begin with. Could be somebody in Pentacle mode as well. But the downside to the Nine of Pentacles, it's like I'm almost at the finish line, but I'm not quite there. So we want to watch out for like unfinished business. I feel like I've seen that a few weeks ago for you, especially with the cards we have coming up, because the Nine of Pentacles is like, all right, I'm all right, I'm gonna be okay, but I'm not quite there just yet. It still feels like there's something unfinished. That's the best way I'll put it. And it can also be a little bit stubborn. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, moving to the middle, we have a card that has a lot of layers as we get this Nine of Pentacles right back where she belongs. We have the Six of Cups taking up the center. Now, to me, it's one of the cards of soul ties and soul connections. We see those two kids, they're sharing the cup with each other. There's a certain warmth here. There's a certain nostalgia that I always pick up with this card. It is one of the big cards of memory. So if we're not talking about soul ties, soul connections, and partnerships, this card is about the memories, the past, the history. So again, taking trips down memory lane. That might be something that you're doing, a lot of reminiscing and thinking about the past. This is often a card that'll show up when the past comes back around, when something pops up, when something returns. And I'm not saying it's a person, it could just be a situation. It could be anything really where it's like, oh, here that is again, or I'm revisiting something. It's huge when it comes to memories. Now, the rough side about this Six of Cups, it can represent disharmony between you and a soul tie. But at the same time, it could also represent somebody that can't get out of that history mindset where it's like, I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop thinking about this. So there might be certain things on your mind that are hard to move out. Now, moving on the back, we have the Six of Swords. Normally, this is a card of improvement, things getting better, coming out of the choppy waters into the calm. So I like it for that. It's a big action card. We are moving forward. We're not staying in place. We're not staying in the past. We're moving forward, which is pretty good to me usually. Again, big action card. It could represent distance, travel, modes of transportation like vehicles and cars and stuff like that. Um, But this is also a card that can loop back around. So you see the little underlying theme we have here this week, almost at the finish line. Almost have it, not quite yet. Unfinished business, thinking about the past, and now the Six of Swords. There's just something about digging into the past or revisiting something that's already here before we even get to the intuitive aspect. Now, the Six of Swords, in its roughest aspect, this could be an energy that just keeps running, keeps going, and never slows down to smell the roses. Sometimes it could also represent abandonment feelings too. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the beautiful Virgo collective? What's happening with our good friends? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot because, as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Pentacles. Why is that nine here? Oh, and yes, for your reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Nine of Pentacles in the mix? Why is that Nine of Pentacles here? Cool. This is an energy where it's like I need to slow something down purposefully. Now, again, I'm not saying it's you; it could be somebody else. But when I see the Knight of Swords in reverse underneath this Nine of Pentacles, it's like I have to slow this down, or I have to take this slow and steady. I don't want to say this is an energy that doesn't want to shift something, doesn't want to change something. The energy to me was like, if I am going to do something, I need to be sure about it. Or if I'm going to proceed, I need to be extra, extra careful. So I am getting this energy of caution as well. So again, I'm not saying spirit saying, "Oh, watch out, Virgo, beware." No, it's just an energy that's like very hesitant, very cautious to make a move of some kind. Now, the Knight of Swords, big air sign energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It is the fastest moving of all knights. Knights represent action and communication. So when I see it in reverse, it's like kind of stomping on the brakes. So could there be something where it's like, hey, we need to pump the brakes, we need to stop this, we need to slow it down? Now, for some of you, this could be spirit saying like, hey, the slow, steady, meticulous approach is the best. That's very possible. But this is an energy that wants to be extra sure, extra careful about something. So I am getting a big caution here. We're going to keep going. I think it's very simple, but we're going to see how the rest of the energy unfolds. Um, yeah, because this energy, it's like also pulling energy inward too. Let's go in on the Six of Cups. We'll see what that has. So why is the Six of Cups here? Very cautious, meticulous approach. So why is the six here? Yeah, all right. And this is something that just seems to pop back up out of the blue. We got the Eight of Wands in the upright, where it's like this energy comes in towards me too. So for a lot of you, this could be an energy you're pulling in, even if you don't realize you're doing it. The Eight of Wands is a big communication card. It's also one of the fastest moving cards, right up there with the Knight of Swords, except this one is in the upright. Big energy of communication, talks, back and forth, right? So when I see the Six of Cups and the Eight of Wands, one, this could just be reminiscing with somebody. When you see someone after a while and say, hey, do you remember 10 years ago when we did this? Do you remember 5 years ago when we did that? Do you remember when we were kids? There's like a lot of reminiscing going on, lots of memories with this energy here in the center. But there's also like this vortex of energy. It's like, all right, here it comes, Virgo. Like something's coming in, something is pushing its way inward. We're going to see if it still holds up as we move to the back, but I do feel like this could be something that like pops up out of the blue like a surprising or unexpected return. Now, again, for some of you, it's not always going to be a person or an individual. It could just be a situation. It could be a thought process. It could be a very similar cycle. So just watch out for things popping back up because I've seen this for a few signs, especially in recent weeks. I don't know what's going on astrologically, but yeah, there's a lot of backwards thinking, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like we're thinking into the past, right? Let's keep going to the Six of Swords because that's been the whole theme. Even though this is like a surprising, unexpected return of some sort, like all of these alignments do have this touch of unfinished business to it or unfinished situation. So let's go in on the Six of Swords. We'll see what that has, and we'll do our recap. So why is the Six of Swords here? Okay, so I don't dislike it, but we have the Seven of Wands in the upright. Watch out for anything you might find a little too like overwhelming or exhausting. For those of you, if you've been going through a bit of a difficult one, or you're just like running yourself ragged, burning the candle from both ends, this could absolutely be spirit saying like, hey, you need to be kind to yourself. You need to treat yourself with love and empathy. You need to take a break and pace something. That's the thing. Like, regardless of what else we got about like the unfinished this, unfinished situation, things popping back up, this could be something totally different where it's like, okay, like we know the energy is moving forward. We know you can move forward, but there's this energy where it's like, don't burn yourself out or don't like blow it all in one shot. I don't know what that could possibly be. Now, the Seven of Wands to me is very determined. It's an energy where it's like, yep, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. Can't stop, won't stop. There's no quit here. But this card can also represent if we're feeling cornered, if we feel like we're between a rock and a hard place, where it's like me against the world. And when I see the Six of Swords and the Seven of Wands, this could either be someone saying, like, listen, I need a break of some kind, or this could be a flight response where someone just gets overwhelmed to the point where it's just like, ping, like, so again, keep an eye on that, especially if you're feeling a little burned out. You might need to relieve the pressure a little bit with what I'm seeing here. So we have a lot of very, very specific things, Virgo. So again, you just apply it however necessary. Nothing is making me nervous, that's for sure. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, we've got the Nine of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords in reverse. Now, could this be something stopping abruptly? Possibly. But to me, this is more so a cautious approach, where it's like, I need to handle this cautiously. There is this unfinished business, unfinished situation in the undertone that I'm picking up here, but it's like I'm proceeding with caution. I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time, and I think that's okay. Moving to the center, we have a surprising or unexpected return of some sort. Six of Cups, Eight of Wands. This could be reminiscing, sharing memories, looking back into the past. There's a lot of that going on. I don't necessarily feel like it's a bad thing. It could be anything really that just pops back up. But moving to the back end, we have the Six of Swords with the Seven of Wands. Just watch out that you're not overloading yourself with pressure, because this could be a flight response of some kind or just somebody needing to relieve pressure or take a break. And these could be separate things. Keep that in mind. But there's something lingering. There's something lingering. But please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this card out. What do we got? What do we got for Virgo in the shadows? Thank you. Eight of Wands again. So the same card we have right here also shows up in the shadows. Now, this could be about communication, conversation. I feel like I've seen this for you a couple weeks ago, where there could just be a lot of talks or combos just popping up out of the blue. So that could be one thing showing up here in the shadows. And it also ties into what we saw last week, because this is also an action card where it's like this energy pops up out of the blue, this energy pops up out of the blue. But the one thing about the Eight of Wands, the shadow side of it, aside from the good aspect where it could be like a back and forth, free flowing conversation, is that sometimes there's too much pressure. So when I see it here, and then I get this message that we had here about like flight response or overloading oneself, that's a very clear message that's coming through this week, where it's like you might need a pressure release valve of some kind or a break of some sort, where it's like, can I just relieve the pressure for a second? So just watch out for that. Aside from that, it's more so like these combos seeming to pop up out of the blue. So we're just going to put that Eight of Wands down right there, my beautiful friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the Posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.